All right, so we're gonna get started sitting on our mat. Everyone can find a comfortable seat. You can let your legs come cross in front of you, feeling your hips grounding into the mat. Your hands can come to rest on your knees, or they can just rest in your lap. Then I invite you to start just bringing your eyes closed, noticing how your body feels right now. You've already done the hardest part, which is getting to your mat and logging on to do a class. Now, all you have to do is just be present and listen to your body. We'll start with some breath work. So bring your hand to your chest, then bring your other hand down to your belly. Keeping your eyes closed, take a deep inhale through the nose. Notice here which hand moves as you inhale. Good. Exhale out the nose, coming back to neutral. This time, as you inhale, see if you can fill your belly up, pressing the bottom hand away. Good. Exhale, let that out. Bring the belly button back to your spine. Good. Do that a few more times. Trying to keep the top hand as still as you can. Filling up the lungs using the diaphragm. See if you can match each inhale with each exhale. Holding it maybe at the top. Good. One more breath here. Bring your hands so that they come to the base of your neck and just start to slowly massage out the muscles around the shoulder, around the neck. Oftentimes we don't give ourselves a massage nearly as much as we probably could or should. Sometimes it can feel really good to get deep into those muscles. Good. We'll start to loosen up the neck so your hands can come down to your sides. Bring your right hand so that it's directly out, reaching towards the mat. And then as you start to lean your left ear down, so leaning opposite from that arm, bring your other hand over to the right ear and start to stretch into those right neck muscles. You might even feel this wake up all the way through your arm. Good. And then adding some movement, bring your chin down to your chest. Notice that that stretches the back side of your muscles more, the back side of your neck, rather. Good. And then bring your chin up, stretching into the front. Good. Take that a few times, just following your own body and what it needs today. Good. Come back to center. Reach your left hand down this time, taking that on the other side. Right arm pulls your right ear to your right shoulder and then stretch those left fingertips long. Good. Hold that here for a moment. I'm just going to plug my computer in. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to do this and I don't want to lose you guys. Keep holding those neck stretches. Good. And then come back to center if you haven't yet. Interlace your fingers and then reach forward and then up, stretching into the ceiling, pressing the palms of your hands all the way up. Long body stretch. Good. Exhale the right hand down to the mat. Reach your left fingertips over. Side body stretch. See if you can open up. Maybe look up towards the ceiling. Good. Come through to center and just reach over to the other side. Good. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, push yourself back up to center. Bring both legs out in front of you. Inhale, reach your hands high. And then exhale, stretch long. Keep your spine long. And then hinge at your hips as you forward fold. This can look different for everyone. Listen to your body. If you want to keep your knees bent, that's totally fine. See if you can bring your palms to face up towards the ceiling instead of grabbing onto the feet. And just let this forward fold come from the hips. Take a few deep breaths in this pose. Maybe letting your body sink a little bit deeper with each exhale. Good, and then slowly start to walk yourself back up onto your fingertips. Bring your knees so that they bend up towards the ceiling. And then when you're ready, you can start to lower down, coming onto your back. Keep those knees bent. And then once you get to your back, you can start to let one knee fall towards one side. And then bringing the knees over to the other side. Just take some time here to mobilize into the insides and outsides of the hip. Maybe you want to stay in one position and hold it there, maybe placing one foot over the knee, stretching into that outer hip, into the side of the body. Good, take that on the other side if you haven't yet. Then come back to center. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze here. And then slowly start to rock up and down the length of your mat. Starting to build momentum, maybe massaging out your back. And then when you're ready, we're going to come over to a tabletop position. So cross your ankles and then place your knees directly underneath your hips. Good, your shoulders should be over your wrists. Your hands are about shoulder width distance. And then when you're ready, extend the left leg back behind you, lift it off of the ground. Hold it here, or add in your right hand, so opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching to both ends of the room. Good, hold it here. Engage your low belly, bring the belly button up and in towards the spine. Exhale, knee to elbow, coming in towards the center. Inhale, reach it long. Good, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, come back to center, hold it here. See if you can let all of the air out of your lungs. And then place your hand and knee back onto the mat. We'll take that on the other side. Right toes go long. Hold it here in the air for a moment. Then you can add in that left hand, reaching forward. Check back into your abdominals. See if your lower ribs can squeeze together as if they're coming towards midline. Good. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, come back to center. Good. One more time. Inhale, long. Exhale. Good. Place your hand and knee back onto the mat. We're going to take a few cat-cows here, just waking up the spine. So inhale, we'll drop the belly and look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round the back. Tuck the tailbone under, maybe tuck your chin. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale. All the air out of your lungs, round the back. Good. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, tuck that tailbone under, all of the air out. Good. Take this a few more times at your own pace, or find some other movement that makes sense to your body right now. Something you need to wake up. Maybe it's rocking forward and back on your wrists, or sending your hips to your heels and then coming forward. Just find some movement here that feels natural. Good. When you're ready, we'll meet in a child's pose. Your knees will come wide. Your toes are going to touch in the back. And then send your hips to your heels, reaching your hands forward. Let your forehead rest on the mat here. Taking some time to center in and getting our body and mind ready for some movement here. Good. Take your time here, breathing into the lungs. Inhale through the nose. Big inhale here. Exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out. Good. Inhale through the nose, fill up. Exhale one more time, sigh it out. Let all of your worries and thoughts go. Good. Inhale, come back up to your tabletop position. Tuck your back toes underneath you. First, finding our foundation with our hands. So spread your fingertips wide, press through each knuckle, and then when you're ready, we're going to lift the knees off the mat just an inch. Hold it here. Engage your core. Long, neutral spine. Good. Hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, down dog in 2, and 1. Send your hips up high. Tilt that tailbone up. Take some time here to pedal out the feet. Bending into both knees, maybe snaking through the shoulders. Our first downward facing dog of class. Take your time to get into this pose. A pose we'll come back to often. Good. When you're ready, we'll firm up that foundation. Your heels reach towards the mat. Lift your hips up high. Rotate them up towards the ceiling. Good. Press through each knuckle. When you're ready, inhale, come over to a high plank pose. Drop your hips a little bit lower. Maybe you have to take a step back with your toes. And then drop your knees. Exhale brings you down to the mat. Keep your elbows in as you slowly lower. Inhale, bring your chest up. Cobra pose. Good. Keep those elbows in toward your sides. Exhale, you can send your hips back to tabletop and then push your way to downward facing dog. So that's one way we'll do our chaturanga flow today. Always make it your own. Good. Inhale, the right toes will go long. Three-legged dog. Reach that heel to the corner of the ceiling. Good. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrist. Hold it here. Inhale, right toes go long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Good. Maybe you sink your hips a little bit. Reach your fingertips high. Exhale, your hands come through to heart center. Frame your front foot and step forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms overhead, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good. Inhale, fill up the lungs, reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step both feet back to your high plank pose. Option to keep the knees lifted this time. Exhale as you slowly lower, halfway plank. Inhale, turn your feet so that the tops of your feet are up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, push yourself back up to downward facing dog. Good, that's your other option. Take whichever one feels the most strong and powerful to you. Inhale, your left toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop that back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Good, inhale, see your prayer overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms overhead, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good, take up space as you inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Hands can come to your shins. Your knees can stay bent. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step back to your high plank pose. Exhale, lowers you down. Inhale, reaches the chest forward. Good, exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips back high for downward facing dog. Good, we'll take that again on each side. Inhale, right toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. This time, keep your left hand going forward, twist over to the right. Right hand reaches back. Good, inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take up space, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good, inhale, reach forward and then up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back to high plank, move through your vinyasa flow. Always an option to push yourself back up to downward facing dog. Listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right, do what feels best. Inhale, left toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. This time, twisting over to the left. Left fingertips come behind you, right fingertips reach forward. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale one more time, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Close your eyes here. Get a sense of the feeling of the ground beneath your feet. Maybe noticing how your body reacts to staying still. And trying to balance and keep yourself upright with your eyes closed, challenging your balance. Good. Gently open your eyes. Separate your feet about hips width distance. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm comes back. Left arm forward. So taking that same twist option, this time in standing. See if both of your hips can face forward. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Take a baby back bend here. So arms straight overhead, reach up and then reach back. Good, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Left fingertips behind you, right fingertips forward. Good, inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, this time cactus the arms out to the side. Take another chest opener, baby back bend. Push your hips forward. Inhale, come back to center, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Keep your feet at hips width distance and just take a ragdoll pose here. Opposite hand to opposite arm, swaying from side to side. Good, we just finished our sun salutations. Way to warm up the body. We'll move into our flow next. Bring your feet to touch at the top of your mat. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink your hips low, arms are coming high for a chair pose. You're at the top of your mat, sink your hips and knees low. Reach your arms forward. Good. See if you can bring your shoulders away from your ears while you're still reaching forward. Good. You can hold it here. See if you can sink a little bit lower. Yes, you can. Good. Exhale, prayer through to the center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, sink your hips low, coming into our chair pose again. This time, stepping our left foot back. So lift your left toes off the mat, and then step your left toes back, coming into your crescent lunge. Good, exhale, hands through to heart center. Twist over to the right. Your left elbow is gonna hook onto the outside of your right knee. Finding a lunge twist here. Good. See if your back leg can lift up so that your leg is completely straight. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, swivel that back heel down, coming into your warrior two. Good. Reach your arms long, deep bend in that front knee. And then track your right knee over to the right pinky so that it's really opening up here. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand can come to your low back. Right hand reaches up. Exhale, right arm to right knee. Reach your left fingertips high. Good. Inhale, come back up to center. Face those right toes in. We're coming into a five-pointed star. Reach your arms long. Both toes are going to face forward, or face to the side of the mat, I guess I should say. Good. Exhale, hands through to heart center, hinge at the hips. Send your hips back behind you as you forward fold into this wide-legged forward fold. Good, you have some time here to move around and play around. Maybe if you're working on some headstands or inversions, this would be a nice time to do that. Otherwise, you can bend into one knee and then the other. Kind of just waking up the hips, maybe stretching into that inner thigh. Good, and then when you're ready, coming back to center, interlace your fingers behind you, and then press your palms forward. So You're stretching into the front of the shoulders. Good. Using your hand as a lever, pull yourself back up to your 5-pointed star. Awesome. Reach your arms overhead. And then swivel that front leg back to your warrior 2. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill the arms down to the mat. Step your right foot so that it's outside of your right hand. So we're coming into this kind of wide lizard pose. You can stay here, stretching into that left leg. Or if you want, you can take this a little further and come down onto your forearms. That's a really deep stretch. So listen to your body again. Always just a few options. You never need to do exactly what I say. Good. Inhale, your right toes will go long. Open up that hip, bend the knee, stack your hips, 3-legged dog. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Plant both feet on the mat. High plank pose, move through your flow. Good. Meeting in downward facing dog. Doing that on the other side. Good. Inhale, the left toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Inhale those arms overhead, coming into your crescent lunge. Exhale, hands through to heart center, twist over to the left. Good, your right elbow hooks out on the outside of your left knee. Press through both palms. See if your twist can come from the ribs. Good, inhale, come back to center. Swivel that back heel down, open up for warrior 2. Deep bend in that front knee. Find your foundation here. Take some time to get comfortable in this pose. Maybe you send energy out both ends of your fingertips. And check into your spine. See if you can get your shoulders over your hips. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left fingertips are high. Exhale, left forearm to left knee, side angle pose. Right arm can come up straight or reach forward, making a long line out of your right side body. Good. Inhale, come back up to center. Bring your left toes in. This time, we're gonna bring our heels towards the center. Our toes are gonna face out at about 45-degree angle. And then sink your hips low, coming into a goddess pose. So a focus here is to not stick your hips out back behind you. See if you can tuck that tailbone under. Neutral spine all the way from the crown of your head down to your hips. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, come back into your goddess pose. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, come back into it. One more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. So bring your toes to face forward. Bend at the hips, coming down to the ground. You got some time here to play around again. Maybe if you want to focus on some balance here, bringing one hip down to the side, and then start to lift that heel off the ground. And then play around with letting your arms come off of the ground. Good. Keeping your chest up. Maybe your other hand comes to meet it. Balancing on those right toes. Good. Place your hands back on the mat. Take that on the other side, where you can keep playing around, doing whatever you're doing, whatever feels good in your body. Good. Hands come off. knowing that both sides are definitely not the same, at least mine aren't. You know, I have trouble balancing a little bit more on my left side than I do my right, which is human and normal. Awesome, let's come back to center. Start to swivel your hips back to face the front of the room. And then you're gonna slowly start to walk your left toes over to the right side of the mat. And then sink your left knee down, coming into your pigeon pose on this side. Good, walk your hands over to your hips. And then when you're ready, you can sink into this pose. So your back leg is long. Notice that if you move your heel so that it reaches up towards your hands more, that can cause like a little more pressure on the knee. So if you need to bring your heel more towards your hips, that's perfectly fine. Find your degree of this pigeon pose. We're stretching deeply into that left outer hip. Always an option to flip it over, coming onto your back. We'll be here for a few breaths, so if staying down in the first position was too difficult, you can always come over onto your back and hold this supine pigeon pose. Whatever you do, just listen to your body and continue to focus on your breath. Good. Maybe you want to come down to your forearms or rest your forehead on the mat. Oftentimes in these poses where we're holding stillness for a little longer than we're used to, that's when our mind starts to wander back to any thoughts that might be crowding our brain. See if you can come back to this moment, staying present here. Good, start to walk your hands back up if you haven't yet. Tuck your back toes under and lift that back foot off of the mat. Step your left toes to the outside of your left hand. So you're coming back into this lizard pose. You can stay right here. You can also drop your knee down if that feels good. Whatever variation you want to take is perfectly fine. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll rock forward and then step your right toes outside of the right hand. We're gonna come down to our yogi squat. So your feet or your toes can face out, your heels stay centered, and then sink your hips low, bring your hands to the center, and then maybe press through the elbows into the inner knee, waking up those shoulders, waking up the inner thighs. Good. Once you get there, place your hands back onto the mat. You're gonna keep your right foot where it's at, and then step your left toes back behind you. So you're coming over back into this pose. Bring your right toes to the left side of your mat, and then sink that knee down, taking pigeon on the other side. Good, this is a perfect spot to stay, or if you want to deepen this stretch, you can come down onto your forearms or rest your head onto the mat. Noticing at this time if there's any emotions that might come out. Knowing that a lot of emotions are kept in our hips. So when we open up the hips, stretch into the hips, a lot of that comes out. Take that without judgment. Having those emotions is human. It makes you who you are. Good. We'll start to walk the hands back underneath us. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Lift that left knee off of the mat. Step your right toes back to meet your left. Then start to walk your hands back towards your toes wherever you are. So you're standing on the back of your mat now. But inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your arms come overhead, coming all the way up to standing. Good. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Awesome. So we're going to play around with a little bit of standing balance today. We're going to be doing, I don't even really know the name of it. I always just call it big toe pose. I'm sure there's a more yogic term for it, but I'm so sorry, I don't know it. So what we're going to do is first just try to balance on one leg. We'll add in all of the other bells and whistles later. So start to pour all of your weight into the left leg. Instead of locking the knee out, like I just did right now, try to see if you can bring that knee forward so that you're really using your leg muscles to support yourself. Good. Start to place all your weight into the left leg. Your hands can come to your heart center to start. And then as you slowly start to lift those right toes off the mat, you'll feel your ankle wiggling and shaking, waking up all of those muscles around that ankle joint. Stabilizing. Good. Your knees up here. Option to come around, give yourself a tight squeeze. Bring that knee to your chest. Good. If you get here, you can stay here, or you can reach down on the inside of your leg and use your two-piece fingers to grab around your big toe. Good. Your other hand can come to your hip now here. You can stay here, just practicing that balance on your leg, or you can try to kick into your hand, straightening that front leg. Let me show you from a different angle. Awesome. If you stay here, make sure your chest is upright, holding it up. Maybe finding a spot out in front of you to focus on. Good. You should feel that left hip working, squeezing it nice and tight. Good. Let's come back to center. Then place your foot back onto the mat as slowly as you came in. We'll take that on the other side. Right toes plant into the mat. Really feel the ground underneath that standing leg. Good. When you're ready, start to bring that left toe off the mat, lifting your knee up to about a 90-degree angle. Maybe you hold it here, and this is where you're at, focusing on the balancing aspect. Or if you want to, you can start to reach down, grab those toes. Good. Take this to your degree. Maybe you go a little further on one side than the other. It's totally fine. Everybody's not symmetrical. So one side might be a little bit more able to do this. Good. See if you can hold it here for a few breaths. Good. Exhale, come back to center. Then slowly place your foot back onto the mat. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. We're going to forward fold, stretch back out those hips. Exhale, down to the mat, melt to the earth. Good. Your feet can stay about hips width distance. Then place your left hand directly underneath you. Deep bend into the left knee. Good. Stretch. You're going to feel a stretch into the right leg. So your left hand's planted on the ground or on a support in front of you. Then reach your right fingertips up high. Good, you can stay here, or you can wrap that top arm around to reach towards the left hip. And inhale your right hand high. Exhale, we'll take that on the other side. Right hand comes underneath your nose. Bend into the right knee. So same hand, same knee bent. Good. Inhale your left hand high. Opening up to the side. You should feel this deeply into your outer hip. Good. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Bring your toes to touch. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back. Move through one more vinyasa flow. Good. Exhale brings you down to the mat. Inhale reaches your chest forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Slowly start to walk your hands back up to your hips. I always say that. Walk your feet back up to your hands so that you're standing at the top of your mat. And then exhale, sink your hips low, come down to a seated posture. Good. We're going to take some time here to end our practice with some deep breathing. We have a few more minutes of class. What I'll do is take you through some breath work, and then when you're ready, you can take some time for Shavasana. And at that time, I'll just end the meeting. You can enjoy your resting posture. So if you want to meet me in a comfortable seated position, your hands can come to your knees, or they can come back to that position of feeling your breath. One hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Your eyes can come to close. Good. This time we'll add in some counts. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then we'll exhale for 4 and hold one more time for 4. I'll be counting you through 3 rounds of this. And then at that time, you can find your final resting posture. I invite you all to do that for about 3 to 5 minutes if you can. Good. We'll get started. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And you have some time here. Continue breathing. If you're ready to find your final Shavasana, you can bring your knees in towards your chest. Roll onto your back. And send your legs out long. Your hands can come to either side. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale. See if you can relax your shoulders, relax your legs, relax your jaw and your face. Take this time here now to give your body the rest that it needs. I'll be available for any questions in the chat. Otherwise, enjoy this time here, and thanks so much for joining, everyone.